I gifted them complete. Some warm, some didn't, but I was like, okay, this is just my little appreciation gift to them. Because they don't be having a lot in stock.
That was Shedeur Sanders casually showing off his custom Nike cleat that instantly sold out. And believe me, the buzz wasn't fake. Nike is now preparing a historic extension that could make him the most lucrative rookie endorser the league has ever seen. But while fans can't stop buying his jersey, the NFL world is definitely not all smiles about it. Let's get into it. The sales explosion nobody saw coming. Word from inside sources is that Nike is pushing for a blockbuster contract with Sanders after rookie jersey numbers came in at levels that blindsided the entire NFL establishment. The sportswear powerhouse has been so blown away by the massive revenue spike from their fifth-round QB gamble that they're lining up a deal that might completely change how athlete endorsements are valued forever. But what exactly sparked this stunning twist? Right after Sanders' preseason debut against the Carolina Panthers, the numbers that came out sent shockwaves rippling across the entire football world. The jersey sales? Absolutely jaw-dropping.
$250 million in rookie jersey sales for Shedeur Sanders, which means he's going to commission $14 million. He only made $4.6 million from his rookie contract. So he's already made more than most second, third, whatever round.
To put this into perspective, most NFL rookies can't even dream of selling close to these kinds of numbers in their entire first season. Yet Sanders shattered that benchmark within just a few weeks of stepping onto the field. His early success has completely flipped the script on what people thought they knew about rookie star power and fan demand in pro sports.
This is a sign for anybody out there that feels like they've been done wrong. You are always going to end up on the right side if you are a good person. Shedeur has been doing nothing, keeping quiet, working, minding his business, driving the speed limit hopefully, and doing everything he needs to do to prepare for this upcoming season.
But this is where the story gets absolutely insane. Sanders isn't just stacking checks from a standard rookie contract. Thanks to a groundbreaking detail hidden in his agreement, the Prime Equity Clause, he earns a direct cut of every dollar tied to his name. Merch, sponsorships, promos, the whole package. Translation? Off those jersey sales alone, Sanders is projected to rake in around $14 million. That's more than triple his entire four-year rookie salary of $4.6 million.
The clause is called Prime Equity. This clause gives Sanders a percentage of revenue generated from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotions linked to his name and likeness. That's what I said. It wasn't that his character was stupid. They was trying
He's too smart.
Yeah, that's why he got picked so far back, because apparently his agents wanted this clause in the contract.
What Sanders and his team pulled off here signals nothing short of a revolution in how young stars handle their careers. Most rookies come in laser-focused on just making the roster and proving they belong. Sanders entered the NFL already running a business empire, treating football as just one branch of a much bigger entertainment and lifestyle brand. Let that sink in. Fifth-rounders usually fight just to stay on the field, yet Sanders has already out-earned countless higher draft picks before even playing a single regular season snap. This isn't just about touchdowns anymore. It's about rewriting the playbook for rookie economics. And the Nike partnership? That's where the plot thickens. This wasn't your average endorsement. It all kicked off in August 2024, when Nike officially named Sanders their first ever New York football athlete. The timing was flawless. He was coming off monster numbers at Colorado, 4,134 passing yards and 37 touchdowns, but Nike's bet went way deeper than stats. They saw a generational name carrying the torch of one of the most marketable figures sports has ever produced. The deal intentionally echoed his father, Deion Sanders' legendary 90s run with Nike, the Air Diamond Turf DTs, sneakers that dominated both football and baseball culture. And Nike's playbook during the draft? Masterclass. Even after Sanders slid shockingly to the fifth round, 144th overall to the Browns, thanks in part to whispers about his unique contract demands, Nike never blinked. Months before the draft, they went all in, breaking their silence on socials to flood timelines with Sanders-focused campaigns. Custom cleats, throwback-inspired DT sneakers, captions like, "Nothing left to prove. CU 4.24. It was calculated genius. The payoff? Off the charts. Sanders' nil valuation hit $6.5 million in college, ranking him the top athlete in On3's listings, powered by partnerships with Gatorade, Beats by Dre, Mercedes-Benz, and of course, Nike as the anchor brand. That jersey frenzy everyone's talking about? Not an accident. It was the result of months of storytelling, strategy, and Sanders backing it all up on the field. When he stepped into his preseason debut against Carolina, he delivered exactly what Nike had gambled on: 14 of 23 completions, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns. Calm, sharp, NFL ready. Within hours, Nike Football blasted out an ad on X captioned, "Only a matter of time," alongside his now iconic watch celebration. The post exploded, 196,000 plus likes and thousands of reposts. That wasn't just marketing. That was cultural momentum. But here's the twist that changes everything. The Prime Equity Clause also gives Sanders ownership rights to his own content across Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, plus exclusive control of behind-the-scenes media. If it holds, this clause could flip the entire system on its head, forcing teams and brands to rethink how they value and negotiate with young stars.
The clause is called Prime Equity. This clause gives Sanders a percentage of revenue generated from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotions linked to his name and likeness. If he becomes like a superstar, he could be the richest NFL player ever.
The NFL has flat out never seen anything like this. Rookie deals are usually locked into a strict formula meant to protect parity and keep owners in control. But Sanders has broken that mold, flipping the script by treating himself like a full-blown business partner instead of just another employee. And the ripple effects: massive. If future rookies push for the same kind of clauses, it could upend the financial blueprint of pro football. Now enter the Nike machine and their game-changing marketing playbook. What they pulled off with Shedeur Sanders goes way beyond a normal endorsement. This was a brand-building masterclass that left the sports marketing world scrambling to figure out how a fifth-round pick became the centerpiece of one of Nike's boldest campaigns. Nike's entire approach marked an evolution in athlete branding, especially in this new nil era where college stars can glide seamlessly into pro superstardom. Their campaign blended digital agility, product innovation, and powerful storytelling to supercharge Sanders' image in ways traditional marketing couldn't touch. The roots of this partnership trace back to his nil announcement, a joint Instagram post with Nike highlighting their commitment to exclusive apparel and footwear collabs. The move wasn't random. It deliberately mirrored his father, Deion Sanders' legendary bond with Nike, which gave us the iconic Air DT Max 96 sneakers. Now reimagined in new colorways worn by Shedeur during spotlight moments like Pro Days, the connection dripped with nostalgia and authenticity, pulling in both new-gen fans and old-school sneakerheads who remember prime time. But the true masterstroke? Nike's pre-draft blitz. While other brands sat on the sidelines waiting to see his draft position, Nike doubled down early. They blasted social feeds with Shedeur-centered content, all-gray DT Max 96 sneakers, matching Vapor Edge 360 DT cleats, sleek visuals, motivational captions. They built hype not around a team, but around him. Then came the product development flex. Nike didn't just repackage classics. They designed custom DT Max 96 sneakers and Vapor Edge cleats exclusively for Sanders, branded with his S2 logo, a squared-off dollar sign that nodded to his number 2 jersey while cementing his business-first identity. And when Sanders finally hit the field for his preseason debut on August 9, 2025, Nike moved with lightning speed. After he threw for 138 yards and a touchdown, their marketing team dropped a polished ad within hours, captioned, "Only a matter of time." It was everywhere: Instagram, X, TikTok. The results? Over 11 million impressions in less than 24 hours, quadrupling their average engagement. That wasn't just marketing. That was culture shaping, happening live, in real time. And the merch strategy that followed? Easily one of the most ambitious campaigns ever rolled out for a rookie. Nike's product rollout for Sanders is nothing short of a masterclass, covering every price point and fan demographic without losing that premium edge. The jersey line alone has become a phenomenon. Cleveland Browns Shedeur Sanders 2025 draft jerseys are already hitting shelves in men's, women's, and youth editions, running between $130 and $175. But these aren't your average replicas. They come with breathable mesh panels, official NFL shields, and sleek ventilated fits that merge style with performance. The apparel expansion dives even deeper, featuring branded graphic tees priced between $30 and $50, making Sanders' name wearable for younger fans while still keeping that signature Nike polish. Distribution has been sharp and calculated, from Dick's Sporting Goods to Rally House and even resale hubs like eBay, ensuring Sanders' brand saturation hits every corner of the market. The real centerpiece, though, is the footwear. Limited drops of the Air DT Max 96, along with Pro Day exclusives, and the Vapor Edge 360 DT cleats, priced between $150 and $200, aren't just shoes. They're collectibles, linking Sanders' own rise to the iconic sneaker legacy of his father, while stamping his individual identity onto the culture. But the true genius lies in Nike's ability to generate organic buzz beyond their own platforms. Influencers, sports insiders, and sneaker outlets like Jordan Schultz and Soul Retriever amplified the story, with Times Square billboards showcasing Sanders' signature watch celebration sealing the deal. This wasn't just marketing. It was the coronation of Sanders as a cultural icon standing shoulder to shoulder with global entertainers. Nike's lightning-fast ad blitz after his preseason debut says it all. Over 196,000 likes and thousands of reposts on one post alone. That kind of viral engagement is every brand's dream. Reactions ranged from fans hyping him up, tried to humble him, and created a monster, to skeptics questioning Nike's aggressive strategy. Either way, it kept Sanders at the center of the conversation. The long-term play is even more groundbreaking. Reports confirm Sanders secured royalty percentages from both his nil and rookie contracts, a stunning power move that shocked the NFL and synced perfectly with Nike's new model of shared success. Instead of just paying an athlete to wear a logo, Nike is tying their profits directly to Sanders' performance and cultural reach. And the whispers of a signature shoe line? Teasers like the LL2C and Proto 92 suggest that what we've seen so far is just the opening act. Nike is positioning Sanders as a global ambassador, not just an NFL quarterback. Their campaigns speak to fans across borders, tapping into the universal story of ambition, adversity, and triumph. Behind the scenes, cutting-edge data analytics are tracking every engagement spike, sales surge, and sentiment shift in real time, allowing Nike to tweak strategy on the fly. Some critics warn that the hype may be outpacing Sanders' on-field resume, but the numbers don't lie. Consumers are fully invested in the narrative. Already, rival brands are scrambling to find their own next Sanders, throwing money at nil stars and experimenting with new contract structures. This isn't just endorsement anymore, it's athlete empowerment on a global scale. Nike has built a blueprint where mutual benefit is the core, and fans are rewarding the authenticity. But with the spotlight this bright, shadows are unavoidable. The very elements that made Sanders a marketing juggernaut are sparking controversy that could derail him before his NFL career truly begins. From the draft process, where anonymous execs painted him as entitled with terrible body language, to whispers of arrogance in interviews, Sanders has been battling character assassinations that felt coordinated and deliberate. Executives pointed to his flashy diamond-studded watch and his constant promotion of the too legendary brand as proof of a look-at-me attitude. One even claimed he'd be better off distancing himself from his father, showing just how deeply his family ties are being twisted into liabilities rather than assets. The media storm around Sanders has only gotten uglier, with anonymous leaks and whispers crafting a damaging narrative that threatens to stick to him for the rest of his career. The Guardian even went so far as to say this reveals the dark underbelly of the NFL draft machine, where shadowy character hits have become the go-to playbook for tearing down prospects who don't fit the traditional mold. And let's be real, the racial undertones are impossible to ignore. The way Sanders is described compared to some of his white peers is night and day. Many point to what they call a plantation mindset within the league, punishing outspoken black athletes who dare to know their value and demand fair treatment. And Sanders crossing the line by negotiating unheard-of contract terms while holding onto his own media rights? That seems to have sparked an even nastier backlash.
It shouldn't be, but it will be. Because I think that there's a lot of people that's looking for an excuse for him to fall. That doesn't mean it's the Cleveland Browns.
And the controversies didn't stop at the draft. By June 2025, Sanders was hit with back-to-back speeding citations, clocked at 91 in a 65 and then 101 in a 60. It didn't take long for Cleveland Browns GM Andrew Berry to publicly blast the behavior as reckless and not smart. Sanders missed his first court appearance, but later paid the fines and admitted on Twitch that he made poor choices. Still, those incidents poured fuel on the fire for critics already questioning his maturity and judgment. To them, this was more proof he cared about flash over substance, playing right into the stereotype of young athletes who think rules don't apply. And the double standard became obvious when you realize teammates like Myles Garrett have been caught speeding too, yet never faced the same level of outrage Sanders did.
What you bring to the table matters. The level of cachet, your gifts, your skills, etc. do have an impact. But also relationships or lack thereof, perceptions, first impressions, all of these kind of things. Whether it was the workout, whether it was his dad talking about, if my son go to a certain place, I ain't gonna be down for that.
Social media has turned into a battlefield for Sanders, where every slip-up gets magnified and twisted to fit the narrative his critics already believe. Antonio Brown's nasty online rants are the most extreme example, but they mirror a larger trend of public figures lining up to drag Sanders down. Brown's crude and degrading posts prove how personal insults are replacing real football breakdowns when it comes to talking about this young QB. And the pressure doesn't just come from individuals. Analysts keep questioning his decision-making and style of play. They've branded him as someone with hero ball habits and pointed to the 94 sacks he took in his last 2 college seasons. Supporters, though, push back hard, saying those numbers speak more about Colorado's weak offensive line than Sanders' actual skills.
We got the very best in Adam Schefter. There is none better, okay? And when you heard them talking about him, you heard folks calling teams, the Adam Schefters, the Lewis Riddicks of the world, Ryan Clarks of the world, others, you as well. And you heard people saying, we ain't taking him. Before the draft even took place.
The Cleveland Browns aren't just juggling a quarterback battle. They're juggling a full-on PR nightmare. Sanders' arrival has brought a tidal wave of media attention, both glowing and critical, that's threatening to overshadow the team itself. And Sanders doesn't exactly shy away from stirring the pot. After a strong preseason outing, he trolled GM Andrew Berry with a jab. "You're not fully proud," kind of, showing he can spark controversy even when things are going his way. The danger here is bigger than bad headlines. If he doesn't learn how to tune out the noise, he risks giving critics exactly what they need to tear him down, and that could shake the very business empire he's building off the field. Because at the end of the day, sponsors want stability and positive image, and too many slip-ups could put those massive endorsement checks at risk.
Change the narrative by how you ball. But it's that simple.
Which, to his point, is keeping the main thing the main.
The mental toll of non-stop criticism may be the biggest challenge Sanders faces. Bigger than contracts, bigger than endorsements, even bigger than football itself. The leap from college to the pros is already a brutal adjustment, but Sanders is carrying extra weight, groundbreaking business deals, family expectations, and a level of media attention most veterans never face. Add injury concerns into the mix, and the pressure only grows heavier. His preseason oblique strain was labeled minor, but it served as a reminder of how quickly things can flip for any NFL player. One setback could stall his development and hand critics more fuel to question his toughness and commitment. Inside the Browns' quarterback room, the competition is just as fierce. Going up against veterans like Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, plus rookie Dylan Gabriel, Sanders has to prove he deserves snaps, all while juggling external distractions his teammates never deal with. Stat-wise, he's looked solid, a 106.8 preseason rating compared to Gabriel's 66.1 and a pick. Still, injuries and depth chart politics could limit his opportunities no matter how well he performs. And honestly, I'm rooting for him. I hope he shines under the lights tonight. But the real test goes far beyond numbers. Can Sanders lock in on football while carrying pressures most athletes never imagine? Can he silence critics, learn from slip-ups, and keep his focus on team goals? The answer will decide if he becomes a groundbreaking success story or yet another cautionary tale of talent drowned out by circumstances. The stakes are massive, not just for him, but for the larger fight over whether young athletes can rewrite power dynamics in sports while keeping their humility and focus. At this point, every snap, every post-game quote, every viral clip is another referendum. Is Sanders the future of athlete empowerment, or a lightning rod that destabilizes the league? And as Stephen A. Smith warned, the ability to block out the noise might just be the most valuable skill Sanders needs to master if he wants to thrive long-term in the NFL. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, click one of the boxes on your screen to dive into more stories like this.